Hi reception, it's Miss Smith and I'm in yellow class today. I'm actually at work and I'm going to read you a story while I'm here, and then I'm going to set you a little challenge to see if you can do a bit of writing to go with the story that I'm going to read. So the story today is called Iggy Peck, Architect. Young Iggy Peck is an architect and has been since he was 2, when he built a great tower in only an hour with nothing but nappies and glue. Now you can hear glue and new, those words rhyme, they sound the same. And throughout the story you'll hear other rhyming words that sound the same. And I want you to listen out for them because the activity at the end has got a rhyming element to it. Good gracious, Ignatius, his mother exclaimed. That's the coolest thing I've seen. But her smile faded fast as a light wind blew past and she realised those nappies weren't clean. Ignatius, my son, what on earth have you done? That's disgusting and nasty. It stinks. But Iggy was gone. He was out on the lawn using dirt clods to build a great sphinx. Here's the Sphinx. A statue from ancient Egyptian times. When Iggy was 3, his parents could see his unusual passion would stay. He built churches and chapels from peaches and apples and temples from modelling clay. Clay and stay, they sound the same. And these words here, clay and stay, they have the same ending. Both end with a and a y, which make the a sound. So some rhyming words look the same, have the same letters in them. Some rhyming words sound the same. At dinner one night, to his father's delight, Iggy got a bright gleam in his eye, and out on the porch built St. Louis' Arch from pancakes and coconut pie. Dear Ig had made it until 2nd grade, when his teacher was Miss Leela Greer. On the very first day she had this to say: "We do not talk of buildings in here. Gothic or Romanesque, I couldn't care less about buildings, ancient or new." She said in her lecture about architecture that it had no place in grade 2. Lecture and architecture, they sound the same. And they both have the sound in them. Architecture, lecture. That might seem severe, but she was sincere, for when she was no more than 7, she'd had a great fright at a dizzying height in a building so tall it scraped heaven. On an architect's tour of the 95th floor, young Leela got lost from the group. She was found 2 days later, stuck in an elevator, eating cheese with a French circus troupe. After that day, it's quite safe to say, she thought all building lovers were nuts. As a teacher, she taught that above all, one ought to avoid them. No ifs, ands, or buts. So the word buts and the word nuts, they both have an t-s at the end. They rhyme, they sound the same. As you might guess, it would cause Iggy stress to hear such terrible talk. But he didn't hear, he sat in the rear whilst building a castle of chalk. "You, Iggy Peck, your desk is a wreck. Tear down that castle right now. You will not build in here. Is that perfectly clear? Do you need to see Principal Howe?" Oh dear, she's not very happy. "No, ma'am," Iggy said, and he lowered his head, and his heart sank down to the floor. With no chance to build, his interest was killed. Now 2nd grade was a bore. You can see here the word floor, or floor, and the word b, or. They rhyme, they sound the same, but they look different. After 12 long days that passed in a haze of reading, writing and arithmetic, Miss Greer took the class to Blue River Pass for a hike and an old-fashioned picnic. They crossed an old trestle to an island nestled in the heart of a burbling stream, but they no sooner passed than the front bridge collapsed and Miss Leela Greer started to scream. Stream and scream, they sound the same, and they both have an at the end of the words. We're trapped here. Oh my, alas, kids, goodbye. Her eyeballs rolled to the back of her head. She rolled in the ground with a vague groaning sound, luckily fainted, not dead. The class was amazed. They stood there quite dazed, uncertain of what they should do. But one bright young man was off hatching a plan, which started with Miss Leela's shoe. Soon each lad and lass there at Blue River Pass was working together as one. You could see Iggy here drawing his plan, because he's the architect, and architects plan and design buildings. That's what he's doing. He's planning and designing how he can help them get out of this sticky predicament. And when she came to, Miss Leela Greer knew that something quite brave had been done. She looked in the air and saw hanging there a structure with cables and braces. And on the far side, beaming with pride, were 17 smiling young faces. Boots, tree roots and strings, fruit roll-ups and things, some of which we should not mention, were stretched ridge to ridge in a glorious bridge dangling from shoestring suspension. And you can see up here there's a pair of pants. It all became clear to Miss Leela Greer as she crossed the bridge to the stream. There are worse things to do when you're in grade 2 than to spend your time building a dream. I think she's very happy that they've managed to help her and save everybody. And you can see here some rhyming words. Clear and Greer, they sound the same. This one's got an ear sound at the end, the trigraph ear. And this one's got an E sound, E-er. So they're different, but it rhymes, sounds the same. Now every week at Blue River Creek, elementary and second grade, all the school kids can hear, along with Miss Greer, how the world's greatest buildings were made. The weekly guest speaker, in t-shirt and sneakers, talks of buildings from Rome to Quebec. Of course, he's the guy who builds towers from Pi, that brilliant young man, Iggy Peck. Here we are, designing, planning his buildings as an architect. Now, I wonder if at home you could design, plan your own building and then make it, maybe using Lego, maybe using bricks, maybe using cardboard boxes. And when you plan, I want you to label what you've done, a bit like Iggy Peck has done, on some of his drawings. Put some labels on, telling us some information about different parts of the buildings. Now, he wrote down some measurements, but I want to see if you can write down different parts of your building. So I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to design, I think I'm going to design a castle. So I would have some turrets, some towers, and then in the middle I would have a wall, and then I'd have another turret here, and then I'd have a door in the middle here, and outside I want to have some trees because I love being outside, and I'd like to have a chair. So I'm going to put my chair outside, and when I'm sat outside I think I would have my little bear with me. So I'm going to put down here, chair for a bear. Chair for a bear. I've written my label here, chair for a bear. You might decide on your design, if you have a dog, you might decide to put a log for your dog. So see if you can put a little rhyming sentence in with your picture. So I'm going to have a turret, turret, and we're going to have a door, that word all we know, because that's a tricky word, wall. Oh, and then tree. And I think I'm going to put tree here. And then I think I might put another one, because 3 rhymes with tree. It sounds the same. And then I'm going to put down here, I'm even going to write a sentence. So you could do this at the end as well. My castle has a chair. Sound it out and write down the sounds you can hear. My castle has a chair for my... I'm going to rub that out because that was a bit rubbish. I did it too quickly, so I'm going to go back and did it again. My castle has a chair for my... Remember what I said my chair was for? That's right, my bear. There. And I'm going to write another one now underneath, because how many trees have I got? 1, 2, 3. 3 trees. There are 3 trees. Tree. They rhyme, they sound the same. So I've designed my building here. I have written some labels sounding out the words and writing down the sounds I can hear. And then I have written 2 sentences thinking about rhyming words and writing down those words in my sentences. Remember, when you're doing a sentence, you've got a capital letter at the beginning and then finger spaces in between the words. And then what do we have at the end down here? A full stop. That shows us that the sentence is finished. And then on my next sentence, there's my capital letter. There are my finger spaces. And then my full stop. So, I want to see if you can, like Iggy Peg, the architect, I want to see if you can be your own architect. Design, plan your building, label it, including your bit of rhyming, like a mat for a cat, a log for a dog, a chair for a bear. And then see if you can write a little sentence about what your building has. And then take a photo, send it in to us. We'd love to see what you create. Good luck. Well done. Bye-bye.